Hi, this is Carol from Crinkled Path Journals. For those of you who watched my last video, I started doing the cover for this memory keeping journal for myself. And this is another Junk Journal with Me episode where I'm going to do the first page, and I'm going to try and make a space where I can write my intentions for this journal and just kind of make notes about my focus and also possibly the era of years. I don't want to work chronologically per se, but I think definitely I'm going to keep this journal more of the 70s era, and I'm probably going to need more than one journal for the 70s, and then also want to do some journals for the 80s eventually. And those are just the years of my childhood. So I kept some of the fabric out. I pulled some tiny elements that I wanted to use, and then just some other random things that I'm going to try and fit on the page, and I'll try and explain how they tie into my personal memories as I go. So I cut out this pocket out of a quilting book. So the back of the page was a quilt, so that won't show, but I'm gonna go ahead and make up this pocket, and I want to be able to put some personal journaling inside, so I'll probably just write on a piece of paper and tuck it in this pocket. But I need to find a way to make another pocket to put this on the page somehow. So that's where we're gonna start today. Let's see what I come up with. So first, let's glue this shut. So now I have this little pocket. I was thinking I might use either this folded piece of field notes paper or this card. I've pulled several little yellow elements for this page to tie in with these flowers, but I think that's a little too much. So I think I'm going to make a pocket out of this so that this has space to flip up and journal. And so I'd like to collage on this, I think, and then make the pocket for this. So I'm just going to play around with some of these elements that I want. These were ones I absolutely wanted on, and then this was kind of optional. I'm thinking maybe if I turn it, this piece will fit there. And then these are the pieces I absolutely wanted on, so let's get those on right away. That'll fit there. These are old Denison stickers. I believe they were Denison, but they were on an old music lesson book, and I went ahead and pulled some of them off because they're so brittle and dry that, or the glue is brittle and dry. They pop off rather easily. So I think that, and then that will go behind in the pocket. Now I don't really care if some of this shows, but I really want to get that covered up. It's not quite the right yellow. Well, that's better, but I think I don't want the bright red next to this. Let's go with the more subtle. Let's see if this is, that's actually just the perfect size to go down the page. So let's start with that. And I like all this frayed bits and old things. You'll notice I have this really old piece of Scotch tape. It peeled off of a book, and I was like, oh, that'll make a good element to a collage. Certainly is vintage. Okay, let's put that piece on. So some of these elements, the C is for my name, obviously, and then I like the sticker because it very much is reminiscent of music lessons. I was fortunate to go to a school where music was a big part of their curriculum, and I was able to take music lessons through the teacher at the school. So I took piano first, and I took it for several years, but I was basically a nervous wreck the whole time I took piano. So that was just too many things going on at once. I switched to flute, and I also did vocal performance lessons and was part of choirs and some special music things. I dropped something. What did I drop? Oh, just flowers. So music was a big part of my childhood, and I feel very grateful that I got that opportunity through our school. Let's see. I don't want to put this down yet because we might want to tuck something else behind it before I do. The tree has nothing to do with my childhood memories per se, other than it's a western hemlock, and my childhood home was on Hemlock Street. So when I saw that, I thought, okay, that's a nod. And then my dad was an avid photographer, and he inspired me to take pictures. And I remember for my 10th birthday, he told me that he had gotten me a really cool birthday present, and the only hint he would give me was that it had multiple colors and it had 2 wheels. And so naturally I assumed it was a bicycle. Okay, I can't talk and think at the same time. Let's see what else I can put up here, to maybe some seam binding to cover that. But I don't like that it's folded. Okay, I'll get back to my story in just a second. You can still see through that. Let's try some flowers. So, of course, I was very excited. I was just sure that I was going to get a bicycle from, I think it was around my 10th birthday. And yeah, I like that. Here comes the present, and it's a little tiny box. And I was like, whoa, must be, like a horn for on the handlebars or something. Opened the present, and it was a little 110 snap camera. And I'll be honest, I was disappointed when I first opened it because I had never had my own bike. I always rode a hand-me-down bike of my sister's. It was a huge, heavy, clunky cruiser bike. It got the job done, and believe me, I had my little friend that I talked about in my last video because of the little dolls on the front, who was very envious that I even had my sister's bike to borrow. So I'm not complaining, but I, had visions of grandeur that I was getting this brand new big bike. So here I got this little camera, and it did end up being something that I liked a whole lot. eventually. Just in the moment, it was kind of like my expectations were greatly undermet in the moment. So I'm gonna go ahead and put this down and make it a pocket for my other pocket. The two wheels were actually two spools that the film went from one side of the camera across where it was exposed to where it wound on the other side, and then you'd take the cartridge out and go get it developed. Anyway, that's just kind of funny story about how I got into photography. I love photography still to this day. He actually inspired it in my daughters as well. Um, they learn to really love doing photography, and all those pictures bring back a lot of memories, and I'm hoping at some point I'll be able to incorporate some of those positive memories and the pictures that go along with them into my journal, so maybe you'll get to see some of them if you follow along. The other elements on the page are not specific to anything other than they're helping pull the page together. I really like this on the page. It has that transparent quality to sort of see the different layers. If you've seen any of my flip through videos, you may have seen my dragon journal. That was a custom journal, and I wanted the aged, super old aged look to that, and so I distressed the edges of everything in that book. That was a custom journal, and it was kind of out of my comfort zone. It was fun to try something completely new and different, and I'm glad that I was given that opportunity to do that. Needless to say, I'm very relieved to not be distressing the things in this book. I feel like it needs something else. And then do I want something inside? I think maybe the little bear can go in here. Oh, some of my best friends were stuffed animals. And actually, when I was I think it was junior high, I started collecting teddy bear stuff, and I can still remember those plain bear stickers that were what was the name of that sticker company? Oh, shout a little louder, I can hear you. It was a lady's name. I'm like, why can't I think of it? Oh, that's gonna drive me nuts now. But anyway, it was a really plain bear sticker, and then you could get like bow ties and top hats and stuff to go on. That's it. That's really an 80s thing. So I will... Oh, Mrs. Grossman. That was the name of the sticker company. Okay, so Mrs. Grossman stickers, they had these really plain bear outlines, and then you could put sunglasses on them or hats and decorate them however you wanted to make cards. But anyway, stuffed animals were a big plus in my world. Like, I had to have my cozies and my stuffies with me, and I don't have many of them to look back at, and so I'm going to use elements in my journal to help me reflect back on some of those things. Okay, I really want this grungy piece of tape on here. I know, what in the world, but I loved tape. My friend and I, again, back to the best friend, you're going to hear about her a lot probably in the stories, but we used to love tape, and we claimed that tape could fix anything, and we probably used up more than our share of it from our mom's cupboards. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and glue this down, just the whole page. I like how it kind of ties the pieces together. If I don't poke myself, there we go. I'm gonna spread the glue out. Then hopefully when it dries clear, it won't look like I put a bead of glue under it. It'll look like the tape is actually sticking again the way it's supposed to. I like some of that crinkly crunchiness added to the page. Okay, I think the only other thing I might, so I've got yellow here, yellow here, yellow here. Got kind of the brown and the brown and the brown, and yeah, I really like, you know, that rule of threes. It helps tie elements together. But I think I might want to do something else yellow on the page. I don't know, this is too much. Maybe some buttons. I do have my button box. Hold on. All right. This is a very sun-bleached box from the 2000s, I think. But all my individual buttons that don't necessarily have multiples, I have bagged by color to try and organize. So here's yellow, orange. I also have like metallics, gold, silver. Oops, I guess I got some real silver buttons in there. And then brass. Oh, these are some lovely wood 70s vibe going on. Maybe we'll get to use some of those later on. And purples, and let's see, here's some more wood. Here's some wooden buttons. Oh, I guess those were purples and pinks. Anyway, let's look at the blue bag while I'm digging in here. Oh, no, that one was open. So blue. Since I find myself generally looking for buttons based on their color, that seemed to make sense, although I like to use boxes and jars and things when I can and get away from the plastic. Oh, way. All right, let's see. I guess I do have some sets in here. Mostly they're just singles. Decisions. Let's see. Let's see. Do I want two up there, or do we like this one here? I don't know. I wish you could speak up. Let me know what you think. Let's see. Well, it's not jumping out at me, so maybe I'll go with, oh wait, maybe that one. All right, let's go with those. So my hope is that as I get into this journal more and more, that I will be focusing on the positive memories and just enjoying the creative process. And I'm hoping that you'll stick with me along for the ride and that you'll share some of your stories. Do you have a favorite or maybe a birthday present that was a big surprise, or maybe like me, you didn't think it was exactly what you wanted, but then it turned out being really good? Let me know in the comments, because I'd love to hear your stories. And I just thank you for coming along with me today. I'm going to do my journaling off camera, and I'll see you in the next episode. Bye-bye.